Hello, this is Ms. DB, and I'm just going to go over a few of the problems on the Solving Two-Step Equations worksheet that is in your folder this week. So remember from solving one-step equations that our goal to solve an equation, you must get the variable by itself. So we're going to use inverse operations to get the variable on one side of the equation. In this lesson, there will be two operations that need to be done. And next week, we'll see that sometimes there's even more than that operations that need to be done. So here's an example. Here we have solve 2x plus 11 equals 35. This x, the variable, has been multiplied by 2 and 11 has been added to it. So two things happen to that variable. We need to undo both of them. We start by undoing the plus 11. So the opposite operation, the inverse operation of adding 11, is to subtract 11. So our first step is to subtract 11 from both sides. So 2x plus 11 minus 11, 35 minus 11. On the left side, when you take the plus 11 minus 11, that cancels and we're left with just 2x, like we want. We want to get this closer and closer to being by itself, the variable. On the other side, on the right side, we have 35 minus 11 is 24. So now we're down to just a one-step equation. Now all we have to do is divide both sides by 2 because we have to undo the 2. So 2 times x, the opposite of that would be to divide by 2. So we divide both sides by 2, we get x equals 12. The last step that we're going to do, and I didn't put it on the example, is we're going to check our work. So if x equals 12, we're going to put that back in to our original equation where we saw the x. So we're going to put an x right, we're going to put 12 right here instead of x. So we write 2 times, except instead of x here, we're going to put the 12. And then we put all the rest of the equation plus 11. And I don't put an equal sign because I'm not sure it's the right answer yet. So I put a question mark. And then I do the multiplication. 2 times 12 is 24. And what I want to do is check and see, is 24 plus 11 the same as 35? So 24 plus 11, yes, that is equal to 35. So now I'll put my equal sign back and put a check mark, and that checks. So check your answers. The best thing about solving equations is you should never get them wrong, because if you get them wrong, you checked your work, you know it's wrong, and then you can go back and fix it. Here's another example. 5p plus 15 equals 150. So it had, first of all, I should find the variable. The variable is p. And right now it has 15 being added to it. So I'm going to subtract it. And then I'm going to divide by 5, and then I get my answer. And then I check my work. Let's look at another example from your worksheet. Let's look at number 4. Okay, so number 4 is m divided by 8, and then minus 1 equals 170. So I've put the first step on here already. You're going to add 1 to both sides because that's the opposite of minus 1. So I add 1. Then I get m over 8 equals 171. Here, let me go back to put a line here, because I really need one more line before I get to what I was writing. So on this line, I would write that m over 8 equals 171. Now my next step then is to multiply both sides by 8. So once I get 170 plus 1 is 171, now I'll multiply both sides by 8. That's what I was showing in this line. So then I have, if you were writing it, it would look more like this. 8 times m over 8. And 8 over 8 cancels, that's just 1. So I get m equals, and then I'll use my calculator, 171 times 8 is equal to 1,368. 1,368. Now you might think that's going to be hard to check, but it's really not, because my first step is to divide it by 8. And then I want to see if this is going to equal 170. So 1368 divided by 8 is 17, or 171, sorry, I missed a number. And I'll subtract 1. Is 171 minus 1 equal to 170? Well, yes, of course it is. So it checks, so I got the right answer. All right, let's scroll down and see if there's another one we could look at that looks difficult. How about number 9? This says a over 3 minus 5 equals 2. So our first step is to get rid of the minus 5. What's the opposite of subtracting 5? It's adding 5. So now I'll have a over 3 equals 2 plus 5 is 7. And then what do I need to do? I need to multiply both sides by 3 because the opposite of dividing by 3 is to multiply by 3. So then the 3's cancel and I get a equals 7 times 3 is 21. And to check it, you just take what you got for your answer and you put it back in here where you see the a. So I'll take 21 divided by 3 minus 5, and I want to see if that equals 2. So 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 7 minus 5 is 2. So 2 equals 2, so I got the right answer. And there's one question at the end that you might find hard, but it's really not. It is a word problem, and you're going to be writing an equation and then solving the equation to answer the question. So this says Ryan charges $5 plus $6 per hour to mow a lawn. He mowed his neighbor's lawn and was paid $17. Write and solve an equation to determine how many hours H it took Ryan to mow his neighbor's lawn. So I'm going to let H be hours. So my equation is going to be I have to take something times hours, and then there's some flat rate he charges in addition to his hourly rate. And for his neighbors, he's going to get 17 here. So how much does he charge per hour is going to go here. And then his flat rate that he charges everybody just for, like gas or whatever, goes there. And then you just solve that two-step equation. So once you write your equation, you solve it, and then you put your answer down here so that you totally have answered the question about how many hours it took him to mow his neighbor's yard. All right, well, I hope that helps. Have a wonderful day, and please let me know if you have any questions.